Hey guys, Colbert here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today on the Raid Camp Guides and Infographics channel. Today we're looking at URSUGA War Color. By the way guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It will help the channel a lot. Here is the infographic, by the way, if you are looking for just that. But if you want to see some more of the showcase and explanation behind URSUGA, then stay on the video and let's have a look at URSUGA. So she's a barbarian legendary HP based champion, so it means the more health you give her, the better she's gonna be. She's one of the few champions in the game that actually will benefit a little bit with the books, but she doesn't really need the books to get started in the arena to really see her usefulness. And as your account grows, as you get more and better both items and accessories, your champion, the usefulness for URSUGA will be even better, and you'll see more and more uses for her. But of course, the arena is where she shines the most. And here I have her with the Guardian set and an Immortal set. Immortal set you can acquire through the clan boss, and as you defeat the stronger and stronger difficulties, you can acquire 5-star and 6-star, even legendary immortal pieces, which definitely help her a lot in terms of just recovering every time she gets a turn. And then the Guardian set is a huge set coming in from the Doom Tower. After you beat the Griffin boss and you manage to have him on farm, then you'll be able to craft that set from the forge. And it's one of the best sets, I would say, for protector champions who have some sort of protection, as it adds another layer of protection through its own ally protection of 10%, plus a healing every time that she gets a turn, that URSUGA gets a turn, by 10%. So it's an amazing set on its own. Plus it becomes even more amazing on champions like URSUGA, which is why I have her equipped like that. Then we have a look at the accessories. The accessories here are not required by any means to be reaction. Okay, reaction accessories you get from CVC. But if you manage to get at least one of them, you should try and equip it on URSUGA, even if the stats are not ideal. And as you can see, I have my URSUGA with a not so ideal rolled piece for the barbarians, but it's still a worthy one for her to equip, since it does give her that 25% chance to turn a critical hit into a normal hit. If you don't have that, you can use any other ring which is focused on HP with HP%. And if we have a look at overall URSUGA stats, we'll see that I didn't go crazy in terms of her speed. Let's look at that. 95,000 health and 3,800 defense, with not a lot of speed focus right there. I do have some resistance, but resistance again was not my focus. What we want to have URSUGA for is basically her tankiness. We want her to take a lot of hits, manage to recover, and also protect our allies. Okay, that's why we have the Guardian and Immortal set pieces. Now with the Defiant set, Defiant also becomes very strong, and if you have that instead of Immortal, that can also be pieced into the pieces right here. If we have a look at her skills, this is what makes her so special. Golden Guard, her passive, decreases the damage all enemies receive from critical hits by 30%. This champion will receive that damage instead. This is huge, a 30% damage reduction from critical hits, coming in directly to a champion that is very tanky and is not affected by weak hits or strong hits. URSUGA here will actually shine in your defensive team or in a go second team. Go second teams are exactly just that. They go second, you let the enemy team go first and do whatever they want to do, and you'll take the damage. If you can manage to survive through all that, then you'll be able to do your own skills, and ideally you'll have a proper setup which gives you the win. So an amazing champion which definitely helps in teams like the Cadraphone Venus team. You can definitely use URSUGA in there, and we'll have a look at that in a little bit when we do the actual showcase. But why doesn't she need any books to be useful? Well, this is how much useful she is. That's the passive. But if you want to just boost up her usefulness, you can use her ally protection and strengthen, which are insane in terms of protecting the team, and which is why I have it booked, plus all the other skills. But the books are not required to get this initial usefulness. Okay, you can get your ally protection and get your strengthen on for a fight that you do not expect to go for a long periods of time, so the cooldowns do not affect the final outcome. But if you want to have better cooldowns, then of course you gotta put in the books, you gotta get in those legendary skill tomes in, right? Her A2 is also a very strong skill with a decreased critical damage debuff and a 50% decreased attack debuff on targets whose attack is higher than their defense, okay? And also a decreased speed and decreased defense on targets whose attack is equal to or lower than their defense. So this is basically, the first part is for the damage dealers and the second part is for the more defensive champions. But again, resistances and accuracies, you'll have to consider that. If you also want to use her for the A2 skill, you want to maybe have 250 or so accuracy just to be on the safer side on applying those debuffs on the majority of champions that are not resistance focused. And then her A1 is a pretty simple one, but if it manages to land, is a strong one. 45% chance plus another 15% if you book it out on blocking active skills on one champion, on one enemy that she attacks. Chance is okay, but this is still a very, very strong skill to have on it, just an A1. And for blessings, I actually found that the polymorph blessing is an amazing one for any defensive champion in the arena. This 5% chance can be boosted by masteries, but for now it really depends on your playstyle and if you really want to change it up and how tanky your team is. Talking about masteries, let's have a look right now on the masteries that I have on URSUGA. If you want to boost up polymorph, then fearsome presence is for you. If not, then you can go a little bit heavier on defense depending on how much protected URSUGA can be or your other champions. You can go with skills like tough skin, blast proof here for another 5% reduction on AoE attacks, and then instead of the resistance right here, focus on combination, improve parry, and you go down to shadow heal, resurgent, delay death, retribution just for extra attacks. We take this very strong selfless defender, which basically makes URSUGA soak up another 20% of hits when she does receive it for the first time, which is usually the most crucial point of the fight. And then bulwark, which is a constant 5% reduction to allies. And then on the support route of the masteries, you want to have extra health. You get just this mastery here, which is not really needed, but you go down here all the way to lasting gifts, which hopefully extends the duration of your ally protection. So overall, I believe URSUGA is an amazing champion for the arena. The thing is, with how the arena is formed right now, she doesn't fit in all defensive teams, but you have to use her. If you do have her in at least your 3v3 team, you'll see a lot of difference in how easy it is for your champions to survive, especially if you have some other sort of protection to add on top of that. Let's say you were buying the forge sets and you do manage to get the bolster set here. So bolster set in addition to the guardian set, so a bolster set on a different champion alongside URSUGA in the arena will go a long way to help both protect her and also her protecting the other champions as well, since that added shield will give more way for the damaging attacks to be soaked up. Right, let's go into the arena and have a look at URSUGA with that gear set in mind and see her in action. So going into the arena, you want to make sure that URSUGA is placed ideally before any of your other champions. For now, we have also Duchess here who will be protecting my own team. I think I'll put URSUGA actually first here and then have Duchess, and then I'll have Venus. I do have Counterfront though in the lead, which it's unfortunate in terms of the ally protection, but I do want to get that 33% more attack in. So let's see how the enemy team will do against us. I do have a very tanky team. It's very end game compared to what they have, but they will go first and I will be subject to all their burst that is available throughout the fight. So we'll even have, you know, a removal of buffs, and then we'll have a decrease defense and weakened by the Draco, ideally, if that's how the enemy team is going to go, and then a big burst by Genbo. So let's see if we manage to survive all that burst because of both URSUGA and those other protectors, plus the stone skin here is just amazing. So all right, that wasn't an ideal team because it looks like the Prince Kymar wasn't really paying attention, person who put this defense, but it's fine. We'll go do another fight here and we'll get the win. So look at that polymorph, by the way. That polymorph awakening is so strong. Even with the 1 star or 2 stars that you might have, it's so strong and can actually basically incapacitate a champion for 1 to 2 turns. It's amazing. So Get this one down. Boom. There we go. Okay. Let's find a more difficult team so we can actually showcase the madness. So this one might actually be very rough for us because of Leoris. Leoris actually hits very, very hard. So let's see how this will go. Boost. Another boost. Okay, we get the defense down. It only manages to land on... Look at that. Look at... Barely scratched her. Barely scratched her. And that is the work of the reaction sets plus the protection from other champions and the fact that I do have Stone Skin in my team. So I wait them out. This is a go second team. Just wait out the enemies by having a very tanky team. And the bolster set goes a long way, as you can see here. All right, let's go into more fights. I'll try to find even harder hitting teams just to showcase this even better. Okay, I've refreshed and found a more difficult team. 225,000 for this kind of team. It's still a quite high amount of power. I'm guessing it all comes from this boy right here, the UDK. So let's go in the arena again and see on if we could survive that burst. That burst from a Trunda, boosted by both the defense down and then boom, tap. Look at that. Look at how much protection. And you want to see URSUGA being the lowest in health. You want to see her instead of your remaining team. If URSUGA is the one taking the damage with the defense down, then it means you did your job correctly, URSUGA, and then your remaining team should be able to carry you through the victory since the initial big burst is now gone. Okay, so yeah, look at that. The reflex here from Cupidus are working just fine, and we did manage to get an attack in. Not reflect, it's counterattack. So here, just UDK, he's gonna go down, but you see on how much damage she soaks in the arena. Yeah, but Cold Brew, can you actually use URSUGA in other parts of the game? Yes, you can. You can use her in both dungeons. The same kind of mindset. Dungeons, Doom Tower, anywhere that you feel like your team will be taking damage. The same kind of gear set can be equipped in all other areas of the game, and URSUGA will be the one soaking up all the damage. You have to have that in mind, that she is there to soak up damage. So let's say a big damage dealer, like here, the Magma Dragon, right? If you don't have something to soak up the damage from him, you can use URSUGA in there. I'm just giving it as an example of how URSUGA can help here with her in the lead. Additional aura there of 33% boost in health. Basically carry this team through and help soak up more and more damage. But when you're building a champion that has debuffs for the Doom Tower, you have to consider getting more accuracy on her. Okay, accuracy is not required, I would say, for the most part, but would be ideal if you also want to use her skill. If you want to have her as a soaker of damage, just to take that in, and maybe when she gets that one turn, she applies ally protection to the strengthen, and that's pretty much her deal. Then accuracy is definitely not required. And again, books are not required, but it all depends on your own playstyle, so you have to consider that. And do not be quick to judge, oh, I need to book her out and I don't have the book, so I won't be using her. That's not how URSUGA works, and you saw on how useful she can be without even really getting a turn. The fight before this, I was showcasing the arena, she didn't even take a turn. She didn't even manage to land the ally protection. So here she's soaking up the damage from the boss, and if we manage to survive long enough because of all those attacks, those AoE attacks that go on us, then it's even better for us. Remember, her passive is on crits, so bosses don't have 100% chance to crit, but when they do, it can be bad. That's why the ally protection set is on her. The guardian set, that really helps mitigate some of her damage, and her big health pool doesn't really mind getting hit a little bit through that set. Plus the bulwark mastery right there really helps soak up even more damage. And boom, we should be able to take down the boss, but it's one of the easiest boss in the Doom Tower. It's just a showcase of how you can use URSUGA for your own benefit. And did manage to apply all the important debuffs. Look at that. Decreased crit damage. That's from URSUGA. Very strong. So guys, this was the video on URSUGA Warcaller. What do you think? Leave it down below in the comments on how you built out your own URSUGA. There's multiple different sets that you can actually use on her, and also multiple different mastery builds that you can use. So it all depends on your own playstyle. If you're focused a little bit on arena, then URSUGA will play a big important role in your team setups until you get some other composition that you think might be better. So this was the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.